Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video we're diving into some content with the new Kaido and King, doing a little bit of showcase on this new Captain Shift character, and seeing how they rock and roll in actual content moving forward in OPTC. Now, with the release of Big Mom Katakuri, now we've got Kaido and King, we had Roger at the Gaban, and it seems like we're going to be getting another anniversary exclusive for part 3, which is absolutely ridiculous. But look, I'll talk about that in a future video, because today we're just focusing on Kaido and King. And Kaido and King on paper seem really, really good. They have a very nice captain shift. They do end of turn damage, which is great. They can output a lot of damage. They can burn. They're doing a lot. However, there's a couple of holes in this particular character, which makes them seem a lot nicer on paper than in actual practicality. Big Mom and Katakuri honestly surprised me a lot in practicality rather than on paper. On paper, they just kind of seemed like, yeah, cool, they're alright. But in practice, they were actually very, very good. This particular character kind of did the opposite for me. I read the character, I said, look, that's actually some really interesting stuff. They synergize well with themselves. But then actually utilizing the character, I was kind of like, well, no, you're not as impressive as I actually initially thought. And the downside to that is Driven Powerhouse, like I said with Big Mom Katakuri Showcase, Driven and Powerhouse, they just kind of struggle because most of their firepower comes from Kaido's, comes from the Beast Pirates, comes from Big Mom and the Big Mom Pirates, and then like Blackbeard and the Blackbeard Pirates. There's not really that much diversity within the actual class, and all of the good characters share the same name. Like there's like 3 really good Blackbeards, there's like 15 really good Kaidos, and then you have like 1,000 Big Moms as well. So it's kind of hard to build out a team that works and synergizes well when all the best characters have the same name. However, you can put together some fun stuff, and the downside to this character is he kind of clashes with a lot of other really good characters that kind of do the same thing. One of the big gimmicks with this particular character is the Captain Shift, and as you guys can see here, we utilized it on turn 3 against Virgo, and we swapped into Queen. And what happens when you Captain Shift, you actually get a conditional boost against Paralysis and Burn. It's only a 2x conditional boost, which is kind of low in today's meta. But look, it's for a captain shift. You got to remember that. Like, you can get this at any point. It's not like you can use it as a special. You only get it one time. You can get this twice very, very easily. So if you start as Kaido as captain, switch into King, you can captain shift to the middle left. And if you start in the middle left as King, you can switch into the captain and be Kaido. And you get a pretty nice captain ability for Driven and Powerhouse characters. You get good HP. If you tap on a Wano Orb or take damage as Kaido, you are going to apply Burn, and then Alba is basically immune to Bind, Paralysis, Despair, Special Mind, Special Reverse. All the nasty shenanigans Alba can just bypass. When obviously together, you get both of those abilities, which is absolutely great, which is really, really strong. Plus, if you have a Jack or a Queen in the team, and you use any Color Affinity or Chain Boundary boost, you actually can increase it twice, and add 0.25 whenever they use their special. Doesn't matter if they actually use a special for said Chain Boundary or Color Affinity, just having Kaido and King on as your captain is going to allow you to get the instant increase. And this works really well for that kind of captain shift in, get that buff, switch out for like a stronger captain, and then build some like different synergy teams and stuff like Blackbeard and Big Mom and that kind of stuff as well. But they give themselves a 1 orb on switch, and then that captain shift ability obviously gives the conditional buff. They also give resistance down for strength, dex, and quick characters, so a nice little extra 10% buff for those particular types as well. But as I was saying, this particular conditional buff, it's okay. Like it's kind of cool. Obviously, they can synergize it quite well when they give themselves a 1 orb. You tap with the 1 orb with Kaido, and then all of a sudden you're just doing that 2x conditional, basically turn 1, which is great. But when you're talking like big damage teams, this particular conditional buff will actually clash with Big Mom. There's Super Sugo Big Mom who can give a double conditional buff. So when you're looking at it in that regard, it's like, okay, well, I want to bring a double conditional buff, but the character that gives me that double conditional buff does the exact same thing as this particular condition. It kind of loses a lot of value, and 9 times out of 10, like, if you're talking big damage here, you're not really going to be utilizing the Kaido and King captain shift ability rather than just using Big Mom herself. However, I'm not sure if captain shift's actually affected by intimidation and stuff like that. I am still testing it and whatnot, and if it's not, obviously this gives it a lot more viability as captain shift becomes a lot more valuable, kind of like Verse effects where it just doesn't get infected by enemy effects, so stuff like intimidation just won't affect it. That could actually make it very, 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 very valuable. Obviously, but having the ability to switch into captain is great because you can just bypass that whole captain swap shenaniganry, which I know a lot of people are struggling with right now, but don't stress. Like, it's just the content at the moment because these characters have been released in the game. So again, just be very mindful of that when you are sort of playing OPTC as well. As for Alba's sailor ability, Alba can actually bypass pretty much everything that he's mentioned. He bypasses special reverse, bypasses the special bind ability and stuff like that. And it works great as a sailor. So having the ability to just be Alba and bypass everything as captain, like the bind, the despair, which we'll do in Revolution Army 2, works absolutely great. And then having the EX to sort of bypass special bind, which you're about to see right. Oh no, we already used it. We used it earlier in the fight. Having that EX ability to give 2 turns of cooldown and 2 turns of special bind removal is actually really nice. But the downside to the character is you actually need to use their special to get it. So basically, like Alba in this Kaido King variation is literally just like a carbon copy of the Legend Alba that we had released for the after New Year celebration, not last year, the year before that. Which is hilarious. They've just taken that unit, slapped him into a dual unit and said, yep, sweet, see you later. Kaido, he's kind of a mesh between like Quick Kaido and Rush Kaido. He's kind of like that kind of like hybrid-y kind of mixture between there. And it's just so funny to see that they just gone, alright, sick. These 2 characters that we've already built, let's put them into a dual unit and just basically re-release the same unit with Captain Shift, which is, again, just absolutely hilarious. But their special is a little bit different. It does a couple of different things to what those characters were actually providing. So you can get a little bit of value here. But as for like best Kaido character in the game, like Verse Kaido only came out like 3 months ago, not even that, and that character still dominating the meta. And that's just like a massive problem with the unit. Like I said, just sharing the name of Kaido just diminishes the value drastically. Like I said, like you have Rush Kaido, you have Verse Kaido, even Quick Kaido with his 6+ level limit break is very, very strong. And Big Mom Katakuri don't really suffer from that too much because like they don't have that many crazy Big Moms in the game that are sort of running rampant within the driven powerhouse meta. But when it comes to Kaido and King, like they're kind of like the forefront of it. Them and Blackbeard just really like hold down powerhouse, and obviously Verse Kaido is obviously holding down Driven over there too. So their special, like I said, it is a little bit different and is something that you're probably going to get a little bit of value out of. Their special does end of turn damage, which is really, really good for getting around stuff like resilience. It gives you a chain multiplicative buff depending on how much HP you have. If you're below 30% HP, you get like a 1.75, and then they also increase it by 0.25. So I believe you're getting a 2.0 chain multiplicative. This means that whenever you tap with a perfect, you're getting a 2 times on top of that. So basically, instead of tapping with 0.3, you're tapping at 0.6. And then say, for example, you have someone that increases that said chain boundary ability, then you're getting like I say a 0.6, and then it's like a 1.2. So if you look at like something like what Kid Killer's doing, and how they can use that body support, and then they override that body support, and they give the tap timing bonus as well. It's just like disgusting amounts of damage when you look at what Kaido and King's actually doing. Remember, like if you're running Queen and Jack, you can actually increase it again. If you're running 2 Kaidos and Kings, you can do that too. Running 2 Kaidos and King actually has a little bit of viability because when you become the Sailor as Alba, it triggers that ability that has Kaido and King in the passive of the Captain ability, so that way you can get that double increase there as well. Their special can remove 7 turns of bind, like their counterpart of Big Mom removing 7 turns of despair. They can give adjacent 1-offs with their captain shift, I believe, actually. Now I'm thinking about it, I want to say the special, but it's definitely in their captain shift. And then their special is going to... What's the other thing that it does? I think that's pretty much it. It doesn't really do all that much besides the chain multiplicative buff. And that also depends on your HP. So this character works great alongside like Verse Blackbeard. Getting low HP works amazing, so that way you can actually activate these abilities. You get the higher multipliers as a captain as well, and you can do some kind of like big damage that way. But overall, like King Kaido, like I said, they definitely on paper seemed a lot more valuable than what they actually are in practice. They are a strength and a quick character, which gives them a little bit of value, as there aren't a lot of strength and quick driven powerhouse characters that are like running rampant within the meta right now. So yeah, they're just kind of, like I said, they're just kind of there. Like they're just kind of here, and they just kind of do Kaido-y King things. There's not really much else to say about them. Let me know what you guys think of the character in the comment section below. What do you guys think of the fact that this is part 2 of a part 3 celebration now, which is actually crazy. Just yeah, it's mind-boggling what they're trying to do with this particular celebration. But look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think the whole Wano saturation is really taking effect now. Obviously, we were saying this like 3 months ago, like we were just so over Wano, but here we are once again with more Wano characters, and the fact that we're getting more Kaidos, more Kings. Like more Kings is great because like we didn't have that many Kings in the game, but just like another Kaido just really impacts the usability of like other Kaidos in the game as well. So they do have a super tandem as well, going up to a 2 times multiplier, I believe. Maybe it's 2.25. I think it's actually 2 times, and then they add 1,000 base stats, and you just need like any of the Kaido Donnies, and then like Big Mom. I think Shanks and Blackbeard are attached to that as well, which can be quite valuable, obviously, when Verse Blackbeard being as good as he actually is for Powerhouse teams. The Super Tandem, it's not as good as the Verse Kaido Super Tandem. Again, another Super Tandem just straight that's been slapped on the Kaido. But when you like partner it up with Big Mom and having that ability to do a Super Tandem with Semler slots, it can be very easy to get, because Tandem Wars can be a bit of a struggle with the majority of these particular teams as well. So that's another downside to the character as well. All in all, though, I do like the unit. I think the unit's a lot of fun. I think all these Captain Shift characters are. But the downside is, as soon as you slap them on as a friend captain, they lose 99% of their value. Not having access to the Captain Shift, even though the Captain Shift does have a little bit less value than what sort of like Roger Rayleigh Barnes does and what Big Mom's does, it's still a very unique mechanic, and one that is definitely going to bolster your box if you're using these characters as a sub. As a sub, slapping them on the middle left, getting them in, getting that driven superclass that they have as well to get cooldowns or special bind as a sailor or as a captain. Having Alba in that slot just to bypass any sort of effects that can affect your captain is very, very nice as well. But like I said, there's just other units that are just doing it, and because you then have to run 2 of them to do this, it's just kind of wonky and weird. But like I said, let me know what you think of the character in the comment section below. While you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's... Are we gonna get the Kaido special today?
Kaido-san こそ海賊王になる男